everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bedtime with Tomi. Today we'll be reading chapter 10 of Dancing with the Royal, Clara. Oh, I'm sorry, this is David's point of view. Flashbulbs exploded, temporarily blinding David. Your Highness, look this way please. Prince David. He escorted his mother to the top of the Opera House's steps, passing the red rope line of media personnel. Making a rare public appearance with his mother, Princess Charlotte, the Duke of Leeds, one of the world's most eligible bachelors, is dashing in a tuxedo by the rising British designer. The Duke, often dubbed the Boring Royal, made his last public appearance at this year's Trooping the Colour. Regarded as one of the least active members of the royal family, he internally cringed. Just because he didn't flaunt his charity work didn't mean he wasn't active. What really mattered was being able to make a difference in a person's life. David lamented that the headlines tomorrow would focus on the fashion for the evening's event, rather than the performers themselves, like Clara. You're attracting quite the female following tonight, his mother teased with a wink. Unfortunately. He waved to the assembled crowd as hundreds of smartphones tracked his every movement. Police in bright yellow vests stood in front of the erected barrier. Finishing with the photo call, David and his mother made their way up into the theater. Your Highnesses, it's a pleasure to host you this evening. Igor inclined his head and bowed at the waist to them. Thank you, Igor. I'm very much looking forward to the program you've put together. Such a wonderful cast. We're going to be spoiled. His mother laughed. This is my son, David. David, this is Igor, the mastermind behind the World Stars of Ballet Gala. Nice to meet you, Igor, he said, stepping off to the side. Princess Charlotte, Prince David, the Opera House's director, Lord Cranston, greeted them next. David acknowledged him. Lord Cranston, if you will follow me, we have a private room set aside for you, the director said. 40 minutes later, David took a seat next to his mother inside the royal box. Tonight, you'll be experiencing what's called a mixed bill, she said. He wrinkled his nose, which is a program that has a variety of performances. As opposed to what? His leg jittered up and down. David, tone. Sorry, mother. As opposed to seeing a show with a singular theme, like the Nutcracker. I see. He stared at the red velvet curtains and watched them sway gently. Was Clara behind there now? How was she doing? Watching a few videos of her, he wondered how on earth a person could manage to balance on their toes and make it appear so effortless. He'd never again look at any form of dance the same. I have so much to learn. If you find yourself enjoying the dancing, you're welcome to join me at the Westminster Ballet's upper school graduation performance in a few weeks. He glanced at his mother. I'll double-check my agenda tomorrow and let your secretary know. Excellent. It will be the perfect opportunity for you to make the acquaintance of the board of directors. Lady Ferndale has done a wonderful job as president. Where is she going with this? And of course, Lady Ferndale's daughter, Lady Holly, has recently been appointed the board secretary. She's a lovely woman about your age. She studied English literature at the University of Exeter and enjoys... So that's the game. Mom is trying to fix me up with Lady Holly. Mother, no. He rubbed his temples. I'm sure she's an amazingly talented and beautiful woman, but I'm not interested in going on a date with Lady Holly. David, please be reasonable. You're not getting any younger. It's been more than 2 years since Elsa. We've been through this 100 times. You promised you wouldn't meddle in my personal life. I'll open myself up to going on a date when the right woman happens to come along. She didn't need to know that it might be sooner rather than she anticipated. It's not meddling per se. It's more that I'm nudging you in the right direction, his mother sighed. I've been waiting for years for a grandchild to spoil. He blinked slowly. Trust me, I'm well aware. If there were ever a person who would make an excellent barrister, it would have been David's mother. She had a way with words and an ability to extract information that David had always wished he possessed. He studied the evening's program intently and flipped to the page featuring Clara's profile. Lovely, isn't she? Who? He asked. Miss Little. I hear she's a star in the making. She certainly is, he replied absent-mindedly. She's wasted in Los Angeles. David froze. You're acquainted with her? We've crossed paths. When? He pulled at the collar of his shirt. Today. Mother's eyes danced. He closed his eyes in resignation. He'd been doing so well. This is why I can't have nice things. I can't hide anything from Mum. Like a hawk watching his prey, his mother swooped in with her talons. Let's save both of ourselves the trouble. You'll end up telling me your dear old favorite mother eventually. Is Miss Little the reason for your newly discovered love of ballet? Partly, yes. And the remainder of the reason? Mother's eyes crinkled. Is there something you wish to share with me? Yes, but it's not the type of news you're thinking. He took a moment to compose himself. Eddie's incident I referenced on the phone involved Miss Little. For a brief moment, his mother's face fell. Is Miss Little what you might call Edmund's rebound woman? No, nothing like that, David cringed. He briefly recounted the events early in the day involving Eddie bumping into Clara and injuring her foot. I'm proud of you for always looking out for Edmund, his mom said, her face remaining grim. However, he can't rely on you every time he has a problem. What's going to happen when he enters Sandhurst 3 months from now? David's shoulders hunched. I don't know. He's not 21. He's now 20 years old and a full-on adult. It's time for him to learn from his mistakes and the consequences of his actions. His mother's voice softened. You've done well mentoring him, but the rest is up to him. David thought about his own childhood. His cousin reminded him so much of himself. Maybe time in the army was exactly what Eddie needed. I learned so much about myself and what it truly means to have people trust you with their lives. Both mother and son remained silent, contemplating the past and future for several moments. David, circling back to Miss Clara Little. He was saved from having to answer his mother's question by the sound of the door opening and closing. Dr. and Mrs. Evans entered the royal box with their daughter Jenna. They stood to greet their guests. Princess Charlotte Leeds, thank you so much for inviting us to join you tonight, Dr. Evans smiled. James, you know better than to call me Princess Charlotte. Margaret and Jenna, it's a pleasure to always see you. It's a pleasure as always to see you. How is my goddaughter? David's mother didn't allow Dr. Evans to kiss her hand and greeted the other Evanses with hugs. I'm doing well, ma'am, Jenna answered, trying to hide behind her father as she spoke to the Princess Royal. Just like your father, she remarked playfully. It's Auntie Charlotte. Now tell me all about your point classes and what variations you're studying. While his mother engaged in conversation with Jenna about her studies, David made small talk with Dr. Evans. The Westminster Ballet's orchestra warmed up, their instruments signaling to the audience to take their seats. He discreetly scanned the side of the stage, looking for any sign of Clara. He removed his glasses, cleaned the lenses, then replaced them. Still nothing. Out of the corner of his eye, he caught Dr. Evans smirking. Are you looking for anyone in particular? He teased. No, just enjoying the view. His gaze turned to Jenna, the gangly 14-year-old, as she slid into the seat next to him. Was Clara about the same age when she knew she wanted to be a professional ballerina? His thoughts broke as the conductor entered the orchestra pit to a large round of applause. Glancing around the theater, David was surprised to see it was full, and that the demographic of the audience varied drastically. When he had come to the opera house to see La Boheme 3 months ago, the audience members had been mostly elderly patrons. Tonight, he noticed small children, young adults, and older couples. The array of attire ranged from elegant suits to more comfortable dress slacks. So Jenna, are you excited for the dancing tonight? She scooted to the edge of her seat. Oh yes, everyone in my class was jealous. I have an important job for you tonight. He tried to maintain a serious expression. She sat taller, appraising him with interest. What do you need from me? He grinned, leaning closer and whispered in her ear. It's my first time watching a live ballet in a long time. Do you think you can be my official dance translator? I'm going to have a lot of questions. You can count on me for anything. He pointed to his lips. It's going to be our secret. She eagerly bobbed her head up and down. The house lights fell. The voices of the audience hushed, and their attention turned to the stage. Clara, I promise I won't fall asleep on you this time. You'll have my full and undivided attention. The master of ceremonies walked out onto the stage. "Thank you for attending the World Stars of Ballet Gala performance," he said with a heavy accent. "Tonight, you'll be treated to a dazzling display by some of the brightest stars of the ballet world. We hope you enjoy this top-notch dancing. There is one little change from the previously scheduled program. Clara Little, soloist of the Los Angeles Ballet Theater, replaces Maria Tverskaya from Bolshoi Ballet." David looked up in eager anticipation as Clara's name was announced. The audience offered polite applause. Why were they so lackluster? Didn't they want to see Clara dance? The MC left the stage. The audience applauded as the house lights darkened completely. The orchestra took up their instruments and began to play the overture to Swan Lake as the curtains opened. David squinted, trying to take in the dancers' faces, searching for Clara. "This is the White Swan pas de deux," Jenna said. He felt embarrassed at having to look at his program notes to see what that meant and who the dancers were. By the third performance, Jenna took pity on him. "Here, you need these more than me." She handed him her opera glasses. "Thank you." He put them up to his face and continued to watch the performance. At the intermission, Jenna spoke a mile a minute. "Did you know that every ballerina wears a different brand of pointe shoes?" "I didn't," David admitted. She wrinkled her nose. "Even in my year, everyone in my year has to wear the same brand of shoes that the lower school requires. It's kind of dumb, since not everybody's foot can work in the same type of shoe. Like for me, Freeds don't work well. They're too soft, and I break them down too fast. At least if I make it into the upper school, I'll have a choice. I'm really hoping I can try Block, Grishko, or Gaynor Minden pointe shoes. I had no idea fitting a pair of toe shoes could be so technical." "Ah." Jenna launched into a long explanation on the merits of each of the different pointe shoe brands, and which brand on top of the top ballerinas wore. Clara wore Freeds. "I wonder if I could learn to make pointe shoes. It can't be that much more difficult than making men's dress shoes, can it?" A bell rang. Audience members returned to their seats and the house lights dimmed. Finally, it was Clara's turn. He twisted his rolled program in his hands. Clara and Anton were announced to roaring applause. "Anton is the premier dancer here in London. He's taught one of my classes before. He's really nice," Jenna whispered into David's ear. "All the girls dream about dancing with him. Clara Little is so lucky." So Anton was who the audience was clapping for. It was silent, and for the first few chords of the Sleeping Beauty's wedding pas de deux began. David sat on the edge of his seat. Clara walked regally onto the stage at the same time Anton did. They walked around one another and made a small circle, grasping hands. She stepped up onto the tip of her pointe shoe, her expression that of someone in love. She looked so different, so poised and otherworldly. He hoped she was acting. Was she in love with this Anton character? Was she really injured? David cringed with each turn, hop, and movement she made, afraid she would collapse at any moment. He clenched the armrests of his chair. David released his breath as Jenna looked over, took his hand and squeezed it in his mouth. "You need to relax. Dance is an art to enjoy. Don't be so stiff and worried over every movement." "You're wise beyond your years," he murmured back. Clara wasn't just a performer. She was a storyteller. She moved in sync with the orchestra and used her body to tell Princess Aurora's story. David glanced over at his mother. He caught the deep respect in her eyes as she watched Clara perform. He was not able to judge the nuances she put into the dancing from watching, but if Clara impressed his mother, a ballet expert, she must be among the elite level of world-class dancers. Mother is as captivated as I am. Clara had called herself a workaholic, like David. How long did she spend in the studio every day? He continued to ponder these thoughts while engrossed in the story of Princess Aurora. So that's the end of chapter 10. And next we'll get Clara's point of view and what it was like to perform with the world-famous Anton Nichols on the Opera House stage. I can't wait, and I hope you are just as excited as I am. If you want to pop ahead and read, you're welcome to do so. Don't forget, this book is available as a paperback and hardback, and as an ebook or in Kindle Unlimited over on Amazon. I'll see you guys next time.